Hey everybody, Troy here. Thank you very much for tuning into the video. Of course, we all know by now about the Ares Armmor raid by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. Just a bunch of pissant idiots that think they can do whatever they want and infringe on our Second Amendment rights and our Fourth Amendment rights, and really all of our rights if whenever they try to. And it's been, like I said, it's been covered by tons and tons of YouTube videos. I can scroll down and I've watched quite a few of them, and it's great to get the word out about this, about the infringement on not only their rights but everybody's rights. You know, Nut and Fancy was the one that kicked that off. A lot of people for calling to try to get this to some type of national coverage, and finally it happened, and it took me by surprise. I was watching Fox News today between, I think it was between 2:15 and 2:45, somewhere around that time. They were going on a break, and they said that they were going to say something about Ares Armmor, and I'm going, oh man. So I rushed as quick as I could to find my camera and come back. So the video turned out actually pretty good of me. I was recording this right off the TV with my camera, and it turned out pretty well. Now the video I'm going to show you is kind of lengthy. It's over 5 minutes, and they actually talked to, I believe the owner's name is Dimitri, and he gives his side of it, and you're going to learn a little bit more things that you might not have heard of, or you've heard of, but you didn't hear directly from somebody from Ares Arm. So this is about 5 minutes or so, and then I'll come back and wrap it up.
Gun parts store executing a search warrant, they say. Agents rushing in with guns drawn as workers and customers watch. Take a look.
You're not allowed to do that to you. Do you want this to be your business or your house? Or is it
All this just days after a judge ordered the feds not to search such stores. We're going to try to clear up some of that legal inconsistency that's there. The ATF says it was looking for illegal gun parts, so-called 80% lower receivers used as a base to make semi-automatic rifles. The ATF says these parts are illegal because the plastic parts don't have serial numbers. But the agents not only took those pieces, they also ended up taking the store's computers and its clients list. When asked why, the ATF released a statement saying, quote, "This is an active investigation, no comment at this time." Joining me now is the owner of that store, Ares Armmor. Dimitri Karas is joining us from San Diego. Dimitri, there's a lot to this story. Where does everything stand right now? Is your store open for business? Is it closed down? What is the current state?
As of right now, we worked through the weekend. Myself and the employees put in a lot of work this weekend to get back up and operational. We started shipping out orders again as of Monday. Both of our retail locations are open for business, and they're operating on pen and paper for the time being until we can get our computers back from our unwanted guests who stopped by for tea on Saturday.
It didn't look like they were drinking tea by the video. Dimitri, what exactly happened? Were you at the store?
I was actually at an Oath Keepers meeting when the raid began, and we got a call about what was going on, and I headed up to the shipping and receiving building, which is where the product that was in question was housed, and it was separated from all the other buildings. It was separated from everything else. The ATF actually knew it was separated from everywhere else that we had, but they chose to do a raid on all of our buildings instead of just coming to the area of what they wanted. Now,
Dimitri, you had some idea that this might happen, which motivated you to get a temporary restraining order against the agency. Tell us about that process, why you did that, and where that stands now.
Absolutely. What happened was on Monday, we started receiving threats through our legal counsel that they were interested in a portion of our customer list and a specific product, the polymer 80% low receivers that we were selling. They had determined these products to be firearms. This is also, mind you, an agency that has determined a 14-inch piece of shoestring to be a firearm in the past. Now, we looked at the determination letter that they had sent out, and their determination letter was based on non-factual information. They know that the information in that determination is non-factual. But again, these same people who, and I'm not making that up, they have determined a 14-inch piece of shoestring is a firearm in the past. These same people, knowingly, with their faulty determination, attempted to coerce us into freely giving them a customer list. What they had said to us was, listen, we know you're a legal business, we know you're doing things the right way. If you could just give us this information and give us this product and we'll be on our way. No one will know about it. It's kind of one of those things. They wanted an under-the-table deal that, you know, was
And that's what I want to get to with you just real quick, because I'm going to have to move on, and I know our viewers are really interested in your story. That's what you think the intent was. You believe as a business owner that the intent really was not to really worry about this part, but to get your customer list. Why do you believe that?
I offered them to come in and pick up the parts, and I had actually expressed that I did not want them to get the customer list, and they turned it down. They said, no, you will turn over the customer list, you will turn over all the parts, or we are going to raid all of your buildings. So what we did is we went out and filed for a temporary restraining order against them. We showed that the information that they're doing was false. They got that restraining order clarified on Friday to make it so that they could actually execute a search warrant against us, which they did on Saturday. Now, this was already in the court system. We wanted this to be handled through the courts. There was no need to execute a raid. What they did was intrusive and way beyond any stretch of the imagination of what the government should be doing. And it was 100% motivated by that customer list, considering that I had offered to give them the keys to the room where the products were. I'd offered to give them the products. They didn't want that. They wanted the customer list.
Dimitri, I know you're still in legal proceedings. We're going to check in with you, stay updated on the story. Thank you very much. The search warrant, we don't even know if this is really an illegal part that the ATF wants. I mean, how do you sort through this?
Battle of the pieces of paper is what this is. First of all, it's very rare. It was smart on the gun owner's part to go get a temporary restraining order, preventing the ATF from executing a warrant in the first place. That was smart, but very rare. What the ATF did was sort of backdoored their way into the courthouse to get that warrant. And they did that by filing an ex parte application to convince the judge that had given the order of protection, the restraining order, to now allow them to have the warrant to search and see.
But now the ATF has the customer list. So it's like Pandora's box. What happens at this point if the judge comes back and says, yeah, there was the temporary restraining order and the ATF should have followed that instead of their own search warrant?
Well, here's what's going to happen. First question that needs to be answered, the parts in question, the 80% receivers, are they or are they not legal? If they are legal, then the ATF needs to give back the 5,000 names that they confiscated, because you can't just go into a gun owner's shop and take their information unless there's something unlawful going on. So that's the number one question. The number two question is, you got 5,000 people that are going to be waiting for a knock on their door from the ATF to ask them questions. Why? So there's a huge Fourth Amendment issue going on here that's not resolved.
It's really
not even close.
It's quite a fascinating story, and interesting to talk to the store owner as well. Jonna, thank you.
Thank you.
Complicated as it is, we'll continue to watch that for you.
So that's just very interesting. One thing that we learned, we all hear that that the ATF went against the judge's restraining order, but then as you hear in the piece, the same judge actually then gave the okay for them to go ahead and do this. But also, which is amazing, that Dimitri offered to give up the lowers and if they thought they were legal, and let this go through the courts, and they didn't want to take that. They wanted the actual names of the people that had these, and so they just decided to do the raid themselves. Offered them up, or even wanted to give them the key to they could take them. But no, they wanted the list of those people. So just a infringement on the Constitution all the way around. They'll figure out in the courts, of course, if these are illegal or not. But also, if you look at it, this is also where it starts off. If you look at Ares Armmor was putting out that they have legally make your own 80% lower, and of course that's all they need to come in and just do their Nazi tactics to come after you. So hope everybody enjoyed the video and was able to see now that there actually was national news coverage on this, whether you like Fox News or not. But I thought they did a good job on the talking points on it. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.